Good morning. I'm Roy. I live in the Villages, Florida. If you're new here, welcome. When we first moved to the Villages, Florida, and I went into the garage, I was so excited to see the sprinkler control box that the Villages had installed. It's Wi-Fi capable. Many of you already know that I love my smart home stuff. We can operate our garage, open and close it from anywhere in the world. We've got smart dimmers. We can control our thermostat from anywhere. And I was excited about the prospect of being able to see the status of our sprinkler system and control it from anywhere in the world. Some of you know we have an RV and we travel all the time, so that prospect made me very happy. But then I got my bubble burst. I went onto Amazon to look up the Hunter Sprinkler Control and how much this Wi-Fi dongle thing was going to cost me, and I saw the reviews. As you can see right now, it's 21% 1 star. But I remember 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was even higher than that. And I said, I'm not spending the money for something that isn't very good. And I resolved myself to operating this controller manually. But think about this. When I have to go into the backyard to clean our sprinkler heads, just as an example, I would have to go into the garage, manually turn on the water, go back to the backyard, put the clamp on the sprinkler, then run back into the garage, turn the water off, then go back into the garage to remove the sprinkler head, then go back to the garage to clean the sprinkler head, then go back to the backyard to reinstall it and remove the clamp, then go back to the garage to turn the water back on again, then back to the backyard to see if I'd actually fixed the problem, and then if the sprinklers weren't clean enough, I'd have to go start this thing all over again. And what about adjusting the schedule? You have to manually turn all these knobs and figure this whole thing out just to make a little bitty change from your summer schedule to your winter schedule. What happens when the power goes out? Well, now the sprinklers are going off on the wrong time. And that might be just a little issue, but if the power was out for a few hours, well, your sprinklers are off a lot. A few weeks ago, a company, ImoLaza, reached out to me because they'd seen my video on how to have the second best lawn in your neighborhood. And they wanted to send me a free Wi-Fi Sprinkler Controller. We get lots of offers for free stuff, and I almost never accept them because we're not a review channel, number one, and number two, so many of the products that were offered just really aren't all that good. So when they made this offer, I went up to Amazon, I went onto YouTube, and I wanted to see what other people were saying about it. And it turns out people were saying some pretty good things. So I looked over the different products they had. I got back to them and I said, okay, send me this 4-zone Wi-Fi capable sprinkler controller. Now, please note, this particular one that I chose must be installed indoors. It's not waterproof. But for me, that didn't make any difference because my plan was to install it exactly where that Hunter sprinkler controller was already located, in this box in the garage. The box arrived and it came a whole lot sooner than I actually expected it to. And to be honest, I procrastinated about installing it. I'd never done anything like this before. I was worried. I didn't know what I was doing. I was afraid that if I screwed it up, then I was going to have to hire somebody to come back and fix my problems for me. So I just kept putting it off. And one day I went onto YouTube and I looked at their installation video and I thought, this doesn't look very hard. All right, let me get it done. And I'll put a link to that video in the show notes, and I'll put it in a comment so you guys could take a look at it also. But I'm going to walk you through the whole thing anyway. The first thing you need to do is take a picture of your old setup. And this is just in case. Really, there's only 4 wires we're going to be worried about here. These 2 wires are to the rain sensor that the Villagers installed. And to be honest, I uninstalled that thing 3.5 years ago. It never worked well. Yeah, it would turn off the sprinkler when it rained, but it usually took over a week for it to reset and come back on again. So I just stopped using it. The ImoLaza controller comes with a bunch of stuff in the box. But one of the really cool things it came with are these little stickers so that you can put these on each of the wires so that you know later which wire goes where. And like I said, there's only 4 wires. It's your common wire, it's a white wire. And then you got 3 wires, 1, 2, and 3 for your 1, 2, and 3 sprinkler zones. It's just too easy. Once I had the wires labeled, it was time to remove the Hunter sprinkler controller. It's got 2 screws on the bottom to hold it in place. And once you remove those 2 screws, it's then hanging on another screw up at the top. Very easy to remove. The ImoLaza controller is a lot smaller than the Hunter. So even though my original plan was to use the existing screws and the existing screw holes to install the ImoLaza, I couldn't because the wires wouldn't reach. But they give you a template. I just put the template up there, I marked it off, and then actually I just used drywall screws and a drill. I didn't even have to drill holes through the plastic enclosure. The drywall screws just went right through. Really easy. Once I got the ImoLaza controller installed, now it's time to hook up the wires. So the white wire, the C, the common, goes to, there's 2 spots that say C, you could pick one and then do it. And then because you have your wires labeled 1, 2, and 3, and you look on the controller, there's a space 1, 2, and 3. Just hook them up, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, and 3 to 3. Easy peasy, right? The final thing you have to do is there's an AC adapter, plug that sucker in, then take the other end, stick it up into the controller. As I'm putting that AC adapter up in there, I'm just wondering if I've done this right, even though it's only 4 wires. But the moment I plugged in the AC power, bingo, the lights are on and we're good to go. But we're not done. You have to hook up the Wi-Fi, and you do this through your smartphone. And it works for either an Android or an iPhone. But since I only have an iPhone, that's all I'm going to be able to show you. You open your camera, you follow the QR code, and it takes you to the Apple Store, and you download the app. Really simple. The only problem I had, and it may have been something specific to my setup, I don't know, but when I clicked the button for it to find our router, it just couldn't locate it. So I manually typed in the name of our router and my password, and bingo, it just started working. This was getting exciting. Then you need to put your address in. And this is one of the greatest features of this new sprinkler system. Since you're connecting it to Wi-Fi, meaning it's on the internet now, it doesn't need that rain sensor that we didn't hook up. It's gonna go out, and because it knows your address, it's gonna look at the weather by you. It's gonna know if it's gonna be freezing, or it's gonna know if it's raining, it's gonna know what the temperatures are, and it's going to automatically adjust. Next was to inactivate zone 4. Remember, this is a 4-zone sprinkler controller, but I only have 3 zones. Next, you click on the edit button at the top of each zone, and this is where you can rename each zone to the name that you want it to have. In my case, I named 1 backyard, 2 front yard, and 3 the rock area. It's also where you tell the software what kind of grass you have. So I selected warm season grass, as we have St. Augustine. And then I chose shrubs for the rock area. And this is also where you'll want to tell it what kind of sprinklers you have. Since we just have regular sprayers, I left it at the default setting. Then I clicked on the picture icon and allowed it to have access to the camera. And then I walked around taking pictures of the areas for each zone. Now when you look at the zone, it actually shows you a picture of what that zone is. Once I had all the zones set up, I went around testing the sprinklers. All I had to do is click Quick Run and hit the play button, and each time I did it, the sprinklers just started right up. I was thrilled. Finally, I got to set up the schedule. And I was worried this would kind of be complicated, but nope. You go to the schedule tab at the bottom, you click Add Schedule, and by the way, you can add as many schedules as you want. You can have a summer schedule and a winter schedule, and you can just switch between them as you need. The first question was whether this was a new lawn or an existing one using a fixed schedule. I chose fixed schedule. Then it asked which zones were on this schedule, and I chose them all. Then you tell it how long you want each zone to run. Since I was building a winter schedule, I chose 10 minutes for the lawn zones and 5 minutes for the rock area. When it asked me if I wanted it to control the sprinkler runtime, I said no, because I knew I wanted to set everything manually. Then I clicked for the smart weather to work on all 3 choices: rain, freezing temperatures, and winds over 40 miles per hour. Now, to be honest, again, I might change the wind setting later. I'm not sure I'm gonna want that, but I figured let's check out how it works for now. It is very easy to go back into your settings and make any modifications you want to make. So then you tell it which days you want to water. I checked specific days, and then the Villages says my days are Tuesday and Fridays, so that's what I selected. When it asked me when to start, I told it tomorrow. But since tomorrow is Sunday, it won't be running till Tuesday. I left the end date as never, but you could have a schedule that you want to start on a specific day and end on a specific day. You got a lot of control here. Next is where I told it I wanted it to start at 4 a.m. But look at all the choices you have. I could have told it to start at sunrise or sunset. There's just so many choices. And since it's connected to the internet, it would know when sunrise is. It would know when sunset is. Lastly, I named it Winter Schedule. Poof, done. As I mentioned, it would be really easy for me to just go back into the schedule and change it when I want it to be a summer schedule. Just change how much runtime for each of the zones. But it's so easy, I'll just make a summer schedule and then it'll just be a one push of the button to change the schedule. Now I can operate any zone while I'm standing right there. If I wanted to clean the sprinkler heads, I could actually be standing right by that sprinkler, push the button on my phone, let the sprinkler pop up, put the clamp on, push the button to turn it off, unscrew it, then take that into the garage and clean it, bring it back. But again, I just keep pushing on my phone right there. I don't have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This is going to be great. If the power goes out, well, remember, it's connected to the internet. Once the power comes back on, once the router connects to the internet again, this unit will know what time it is and reset itself. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And when we're away on RV trips, I can just open the app and look at it. I can see that it's working or not working. I can control whatever I want to control. I'm liking this. This is what I wanted 4 years ago when we first moved in. The ImoLaza Wi-Fi Sprinkler Controller is available in a 4-zone, a 6-zone, and an 8-zone model. And that 8-zone model, it's still less than $100. But the 4-zone, $80, it's cheaper than just the Wi-Fi module for the Hunter that came with our home. I'm gonna throw this sprinkler controller into our Amazon store, but I'm also gonna put a link to it in the show notes and in a comment that I'm gonna stick to the top, so it'll be easy for you guys to find. It was really simple. It was really easy. I think you guys are gonna have no problem installing this. If you guys are having a problem with your St. Augustine grass like I was having, I'm gonna put a link to that video I mentioned, how to have the second best lawn in your neighborhood. I'm gonna put it right here for you. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. See ya.